Omid, the mangy dog, won't leave Catherine alone, even though the mistake has already been admitted. What about Harry and Meghan's crude edit of fake Archie and Lilibet? My God, folks, I don't even know how many times I have typed the words mess over the past 4.5 years, ever since Harry and Meghan ran off to the US. It would have to be in the thousands at this point. I was naively hoping that maybe 2024 would be the year that I could retire this noun. No longer necessary now that the late Queen had passed away, King Charles had been anointed, and Harry and Meghan had taken themselves off to do who knows what. But unfortunately, no, it doesn't look like that's happening anytime soon. We've got the Oscars, we've got the US presidential race, and we've got a lot of conflicts all around the globe. It all seems to have been forgotten, though, in the ongoing communal meltdown that has taken over social media, the news, and the internet. Overnight, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, released a statement taking full responsibility for the confusion with that photo. She said, like many amateur photographers, I do occasionally experiment with editing. I wanted to express my apologies for any confusion the family photograph we shared yesterday caused. I hope everyone celebrating had a very happy Mother's Day. Okay, fine, understandable, right? No, apparently not for some, because here we have Omid Scobie, aka Scooby Doo Doo, aka Scabies, going into full meltdown mode over that photo which Catherine, a photographer, has admitted to editing. Now, who out there isn't guilty of editing their own digital photos? Sometimes we want to make them clearer, we want to improve the lighting, make it look a little sharper, whatever. Editing is also the same thing as enhancing. It's not the same thing as photoshopping. So, photoshopping is designed to add or remove or change elements of an image. The difference between the two is easy to see. There are even cameras out there that can take multiple photos and then combine them into a single image with varying levels of success, to be fair. Now, I've got one of those, and sometimes it works well, and sometimes I got to take a photo manually because I think it's a lot better than the auto photo. That is, after all, what digital photography allows for the freedom to edit. But anyway, back to Meghan Markle's cheerleader, scabies. I mean, I guess he's foaming at the mouth about the near impossible task of gaining back public credibility in the royal family. And to think, this little idiot kept quiet after all the fake photos Meghan and Harry have released. I mean, they who have not released a single photo that wasn't photoshopped or heavily edited or just completely fabricated since they left the UK. There are so many lists of the photos that Harry and Meghan have released that have been photoshopped to such a ridiculous degree. I mean, her face, the moon bump, Harry's hair, the two of them with the invisible children themselves. Photos from both sides of the Atlantic have all been messed with to portray the Sussexes in a good light, and I understand that is an impossible task. I mean, a classic example of Meghan Markle's Photoshop is that one where Meghan's thumb doesn't even line up with the rest of her hand in that photo. And it was a completely different color, too. But did Scaby say anything about that one? Of course not. There wasn't a peep coming out of him. But he has the nerve to open his mouth about Princess of Wales's photo and imply that this single photo has destroyed public credibility in the royal family. What is he going on about? It just proves yet again the kind of disgusting people Harry and Meghan really are, and the types of scum they choose to work with to spread their disinformation and their attacks against the royal family. And trust me, this is an attack against all the royals. So, of course, they've got people like Scabies working for them. He has never shown too much between his ears, and he does their dirty work without asking any questions. People want nothing to do with the likes of Omid Scobie. I mean, come on. And decent people also want nothing to do with the likes of the Sussexes. Just ask anybody in Hollywood, and to be fair, most of them are not even decent. What about that infamous Misan Harriman black and white Harry and Meghan photo where Meghan was pregnant lying under a tree? Harriman at that time was not even in California. He did it digitally with an iPad from his London studio. And then later on, he added in a phony English tree and perhaps a fake pregnant stomach, too. Worse than that, though, is that phony Invisibet photo that was allegedly taken at Frogmore, but it's not Frogmore, and Harry admitted in court that Lilibet has never been to England. So why is Omid Scobie not calling out Harry and Meghan for their lies? I hope somebody does to him what he has done to the royal family. He needs to suffer for the rest of his days. Catherine, meanwhile, is an artist and a photographer. I'm sure it was intentional to shine the light on Harry and Meghan's photos. The latest, of course, was Meghan in Utah, supposedly on a skiing trip. Catherine and William are so intelligent. They can't say anything public, but they can, in their own secretive ways, outwit the idiots. And according to a royal commentator, the mess is back, but this time it's Prince William and Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales, causing it. And it is King Charles who's having to pay the hefty price. She said, "I wouldn't be surprised if the Prince and Princess are the newest entries in His Majesty's bad books." Only about 12 hours after the Waleses released an official photo of Catherine for British Mother's Day, the first image of her since she underwent abdominal surgery, and also after weeks of frenzied speculation about her condition, Getty, the Associated Press, Agence France Presse, and Reuters issued a kill notice over concerns that the photo had been manipulated. It was a bizarre and shocking turn of events for sure. Essentially, the Waleses were called out by big news agencies. It's not really something that we have seen before, but more importantly, for one's bad book, this is quite the catastrophe for Charles. Because if there is one rule in the royal family, other than never serving white wine with grouse or leaving Prince Andrew alone with anybody under the age of 18, it certainly is that you are not allowed to overshadow the monarch. You're not allowed to outshine the king. You're not allowed to eclipse whoever it is who's wearing the crown, and especially not when they have some big speech to give. So, unfortunately, it looks like William and Catherine, whether intentionally or unintentionally, have broken this unspoken rule, and in pretty spectacular fashion as well. So, this means that the only people who are going to be paying a bit of attention to Charles and him saying nice things about the Commonwealth and friendship are Camilla, herself probably only half listening, and also the remaining 6 fully paid up members of the Monarchist League. I'm sure the king was hoping for a nice, pleasant return to work, but unfortunately, it looks like he's going to have to wait. And right now, the king is still battling cancer. What the crown needs is to be calmly exuding a serene, steady as she goes sense. We need to see that everything and everybody is smoothly sailing along. But unfortunately, the way that William and Catherine have handled Catherine's ongoing sick leave doesn't leave much hope for that. Thanks to William and Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales, the royal family has plummeted into this crazy mirror world where the world's leading news agencies are publicly accusing them of manipulating an official image, and social media lost its mind a long time ago. So, whose fault is it? Well, some are saying William. It could be that he fired the starting gun on the crazy when last month he pulled out of his godfather King Constantine's memorial service at the very last minute. The various insane theories that had been burbling away in the more crazy parts of X all of a sudden exploded into the mainstream. And then we got that pap photo of Catherine and her mother, Carol Middleton, and that really didn't do anything to help matters. And then came Sunday, which was Mother's Day in the UK. For the last few years, Kensington Palace has marked the celebration by issuing a new image of Catherine and the children, or as they did back in 2022, releasing the cards the young princes and princess had made for their Granny Diana. Here was an excellent opportunity to really discourage the mania that has taken over social media. Here was a chance to show that Catherine, the Princess of Wales, is alive and well. This should have finally set things right. Oh, absolutely not, though. In the place of a nice return to regular viewing, these news agencies put out that kill notice and things went off. For Charles, it is a mess of gargantuan proportions, and unfortunately, nobody has even the faintest idea of how to get things okay again. Over the last few weeks, all that William and Catherine and their Kensington Palace's office have managed is to create this chaotic, out of control situation, which is now being reported on by every major outlet around the globe. Even the New York Times has put out a news alert. In the years of talking about the royal family, talking about their exits, their downfalls, their TV shows, their interviews, books, you name it, I've never seen anything quite like this. We are coming to the first anniversary of King Charles's coronation, and unfortunately it looks like his reign has been overtaken by first Harry and Meghan and their truth-telling urges, and now the Waleses and their havoc-creating ways. So what is this king going to do? Well, in Harry's book Spare, he talked about his father back in 2021 saying during a heated scene, "Please, boys, don't make my final years a misery." Well, unfortunately, it doesn't look like either boy listened. And you, do you agree with this expert? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments. If you think my video is useful, don't be afraid to like and share with anybody else who would enjoy it anytime you want. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye, and I'll be back to see you in the next videos.